Welcome back. Well, come payday, we all get tempted to go out there and spend our paycheck right away. Vegas, baby. But there's three simple things you need to remember before going on a little shopping
That's
spree.
right. Our partners with Moms Every Day are sharing their insight on how to stay in good financial shape.
Saving and spending. Do all three of these successfully and you'll be in good financial shape. Today, Moms Every Day is running through each one of them to make your good habits even better.
First up, making money. You've probably used Craigslist or eBay to buy or sell your stuff, but which site is the best one for selling electronics? And which one gets you the most money for your collectibles? Would you be better off with an old-fashioned garage sale? Take a look.
Hi, I'm Jennifer, Mom's Everyday Financial Expert. Today we're talking about making money selling things online. First up, we're talking about big, bulky items such as musical instruments. For these types of items, I recommend Craigslist, and here's why. It's really expensive to ship this kind of item, and the consumer is going to want to come to you and perhaps try it out. Too expensive to ship? Bring them to you. For higher priced or unique items, you may want to look at eBay. For example, this Coach purse or these Kate Spade sandals would do really, really well in an eBay situation. What you're looking for here is a higher consumer pool. You want more people to be able to see your item, so you're more likely to be matched up with that individual willing to pay the higher price that these could garner. Garage sale is a great way to make some money right away. What you're looking for in a garage sale, though, is this is going to happen right away. You may be able to get rid of all of the clutter that you've collected and move it right away, but you're going to have to trade off for a lower price. The other thing with the garage sale you have to think about, yes, it's a great way to make money, but you need to advertise that so that you have customers coming to you to buy your items. And finally, with a garage sale, you may want to make it a much bigger event and pool with your neighbors or your friends and family members to make it a very large garage sale with tons and tons of items to draw those consumers to you. And finally, we're talking about electronics. My recommendation for selling electronics and making some money is to sell them on Craigslist. A couple of things you need to remember. With Craigslist, of course, remember your safety. When you're going to meet your potential buyer, meet in a public place and bring a friend. Also with electronics, you need to be careful that your personal information is on here, so of course you need to wipe that clean. Return the settings to the factory default. I hope these tips were helpful in helping you determine whether to sell on Craigslist, eBay, or at a garage sale. All this information can be found at momseveryday.com. Happy selling!
Now that you've made a little cash off your stuff, here's some tips on saving money.
You should absolutely be thinking ahead of time. This is not only going to save you time, but it's also going to save you a lot of money when it comes to buying things like groceries. You should only be shopping once a week at the most, all right? And when you go, you should be absolutely loading up on the best deals. And again, these best deals are going to come from combining your best store sales with the best manufacturer coupons. So if you're a creative person and you'd like to save more money, let me just encourage you to head to Pinterest if you're not there already. And look up recipes for DIY items. For example, making your own laundry soap, making your own spice mixes. You'll be amazed at what you can save by the end of a year. Negotiate savings on everything. I want you to follow your money. Any service that you're paying on a regular basis, I want you to call them up at least annually, and I want you to ask for a better rate. And don't be afraid to switch service providers. Sometimes when you actually leave, your old service provider might jump through hoops to try and get you back, and that's good for you, and it's good for your budget.
Natural disasters, a death in the family, serious illness, or the loss of a job can turn into a financial fiasco. Money Talks news correspondent Stacy Johnson offers some tips on disaster planning.
Being prepared for disaster really just means thinking ahead. It means having an emergency savings fund. It means having adequate insurance on both your home, your health, and your life. And it means being prepared with paperwork. Having a power of attorney, making sure your will's up to date, making sure that the people who are around you, like your spouse, know where to find all this stuff. If a disaster happens and you don't have an emergency fund, well, you may only have one choice left, and that's borrowing money. Hopefully you're going to be able to do that from family or friends and not get caught up in a bunch of interest, but you got to do what you got to do. If there's a disaster and you haven't saved, Well, you're going to have to do the best you can. What you want to avoid is pulling out the plastic and running up high-interest credit card debt. First thing you might try, of course it depends on what the disaster is, call 211. See what services are available in your community. That's a free call. You can call from anywhere, and you're going to find out what's available. Obviously, also, this is a time when we can lean on our friends, our family, maybe even our church. Whatever help you can get, you're going to have to try to find it. The way you start rebuilding your life is patience. I've seen a lot of people start from zero and go to hero. It just takes time. You set some money aside. You track your expenses. You work with whatever community services are available. You get help from other people. Find a mentor. There's a million things that you can do. Just start small, start slow, but start.
Well, when it comes to disaster planning, usually people don't think about it until they're in a disaster. I know my husband and I, we had the little box in the basement, but we also had to think about putting some money aside and putting some money in that box. So in case we needed to do something right then and there, we would have something put aside.
Because you don't think it's going to happen to you. And whether it's a natural disaster or a death or an accident, you know, my family a couple of years ago went through something that threw us for a loop. I mean, we were involved in an auto accident, and the domino effect was just so dramatic. And luckily we had things set aside, but you don't realize one thing leads to the next, and medical bills and loss of jobs. And you thought you were stable, and literally you blink and everything can kind of fall apart.
It can be a really overwhelming task. You think, well, I have to do all these things. I don't have a will. I don't have a disaster box. I don't have an emergency fund. I don't have everything written down. Start small. Do one thing at a time. And a lot of people don't have emergency paperwork, wills, power of attorney, all this good stuff.
Or just even knowing what you do have, you know, knowing what does your auto insurance cover? What are your med pay levels? What does your health insurance? What's your disability insurance? How much does that replace?
Or do you even have
Or do you have it?
insurance?
And it's okay to ask those questions, whether you're self-employed or you have an HR expert you can talk to in your company.
Another thing is a year of food storage, which is really hardcore to do all at once, but every month just buy another package of cans from Costco and just slowly build it up, and that will make a big difference.
Absolutely. Start slow and just be patient and get it done.
That's right.
Sometimes to make money, you've got to spend money. We're going to show you how investing in home improvements can help you get the biggest bang for your buck.
Whether you're planning on selling now or in the future, investing money in your home through maintenance and improvements is essential to get the most from your investment.
Kitchens, of course, are the biggie, but that's an expensive project. Bathrooms are next. That's expensive.
If your kitchen is completely outdated, an overhaul might be necessary, complete with new appliances, cabinets, and countertops. On a smaller scale, new hardware and lighting can go a long way in a kitchen or bathroom. Many buyers prefer hardwood floors, so if you have old carpet, consider ripping it up. You can get the same look for less with laminate flooring. Curb appeal is major when it comes to adding value to your home.
The first thing a buyer's going to do is drive by. So making it appealing is very, very important.
She says overgrown shrubs should be trimmed or pulled. Trees are a plus to provide shade, as are low-maintenance perennials. Siding that is in good shape is also essential. If yours isn't up to par, consider replacing. And you may want to rethink yellow.
The exterior yellow, those homes statistically take the longest to sell.
The easiest and most affordable way to add value to your home is with a fresh coat of paint. Newly painted walls look clean and sharp. Choose neutrals if you're planning on selling. These colors will appeal to the most people. And don't forget the front door.
Painting that front door, the big thing. You'd be surprised how many doors are really shabby looking. Well, that's the first thing the buyer sees when they drive by. So that deters them right then and there.
This is Liz Hayes for Moms Every Day.
Before we go to break, let's take a look at the going rate for some of those things you just are never sure about.
According to Care.com, the average going rate for babysitters is now $10 an hour. One tactic we like: your sitter's hourly rate should be just about the cost of an adult movie ticket and a drink. Allowances in the U.S. have increased in recent years. Allowance rates and rules vary widely among parents, but here are the averages. Kids under 10 are getting $2 to $5 a week. Tweens are typically given anywhere from $5 to $11. The average for teens has risen to as much as $18 a week. Going to a child's birthday party, expect to spend anywhere from $10 to $20 on a gift, depending on your relationship to the child. Finally, we asked the Tooth Fairy how much teeth were worth these days. The average tooth is now worth $1.